next performer, Mahogany Browne.
Hello.
Hi. She's the author of books including Swag and Dear Trigger, Love Letters Hashed Out Online, which sounds great. It was listed as an About.com Best Poetry Book of 2010. She's released 5 LPs. She's toured Germany, Amsterdam, England, Canada, and recently Australia. Her journalism work's been published in magazines such as XXL, The Source, Canada's The Word. She's also an Urban Word New York City mentor, as seen on HBO's Brave New Voices. She facilitates performance, poetry, and writing workshops throughout the country. She's publisher of Penmanship Books, director of poetry, and Friday night curator of the famous Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And we're glad you fit us in. Seems like you got a lot going on, Mahogany.
Thank you.
Thanks for
I'm so excited to be able to wear my sweats. So thank you, because that snow is not cute. It's actually hailing now. So I'm going to share a couple. One that I shared in class this past week. And share some older things. Elegy for song. Tomorrow my daughter will sing, and her song will be a tree branch snap. My love's brownest eye will go black, and my son will not want to be born here. America loves me like a blues song. I will know all the words: kick, snare, roll. This country of blood birthed me loudly, cradled my face firm like prayer betwixt boot. The difference between truth and hurt, no name, but a smell so familiar with the hungry, lynch rope flesh blue as a church hymn of revenge crushed between my teeth. My daughter will sing soprano tomorrow. It is the only breath I will call my own. I am this shadow she cannot leave, a stain, the color she cannot dream. Tomorrow my daughter will sing, my love's brownest eye will go black. America loves me like a blues song. This country of blood birthed me loudly. The difference between truth and hurt. Lynch rope flesh blue as church hum. My daughter will sing soprano tomorrow. This shadow she cannot leave, a stain. And her song will be a tree branch snap. And my son will not want to be born here. I will know all the words: kick, snare, roll, cradled my face firm like prayer betwixt boot. No name, but a smell so familiar with the hungry, hymn of revenge, crushed between my teeth. It is the only breath I will call my own. I am a stain, the color she cannot dream. Oh, and that poem looks like wings, and it's actually 3 poems in one.
Oh, wow.
I should have said that, I'm sorry. The wine is very good. I just kind of think you guys know what I'm going through.
Codes all around that.
All right, done. And hoping. You can bury anything inside her hands. The palms hold a globe of light so scary and still. A loveless well is a woman's final dance. You can bury anything inside her hands. A wisp of a wish, a well-intended shrill. A loveless well is a woman's final dance. When she moves like a whisper, her smile buried in sand. The moon sways her shadows, crinoline into a celestial spill. You can bury anything inside her hands. A spell recreates the woman in the mouth of a slippery romance. She smiles like a fire raging gluttonous across a frantic hill. A loveless well is a woman's final dance. Her spirit moves like Oshun in a Brooklyn trance. Her mother's feet tap against her spine. The beat be her greatest thrill. You can bury anything inside her hands. The woman's barren well is her lover's backward glance. The moon swings low in her bosom, swishes shadows before then, until a loveless well is a woman's final dance. Her hand, a circus tent, her laughter, a staggered prance, anatomy of her fractured something or other edit. That's horrible. Oh yes, anatomy of her favorite fractures into an unforgiving fill. You can bury anything inside her hands. A loveless well is a woman's final dance. So I've been having these really fun conversations online where women tell me they don't want to talk about like racism and feminism at the same time because it's too difficult. Right? What you mean? So my whole life is difficult. So I'll share that interaction, how it happened. That's the long version. Actually, I have it in my phone, like that. Thank you, Zara, so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
I mean, we are neighbors.
We are neighbors.
Yeah.
Your kid is in my program. So Mahogany's daughter is one of my raw fiction.
Oh,
cool. Amari. Oh, she wasn't at the orientation. Yeah. She had to take the SAT that day. Yeah.
And she got a better score.
Nice. Oh, good.
So thank you. Right. Yeah, I was scared. We'll get it together. We all can't ask for all the scholarships. This is the response. I am hella black. Even when all you want to talk about is feminism or poetry and never racism. So we can't hold court because your hand's too small to talk about the world that got all my black feelings in it. And how too much black talk make you uncomfortable. Because you only want to deal with the labels that afforded you such a privilege. Whereas you don't have to talk about all this black and all this woman and all this black woman and all this inconvenience. And all my poems are all about all this black. And how my daughter learned from my mistakes. So I'm good with this black. And I love my black every day, so she knows she can love and be loved like this, if only by herself and her mama and her daddy, and that's enough, especially when the world don't know how to hold black bodies right. And sometimes it's not the world, but someone claiming friend, and how the world ain't got to be no bigger than your house to mean it's your everything and it shake you, and how that don't mean all things are bad or black or women, or how them good names don't necessarily mean family or kin or safe. And all my life I walk in it. And when I say it, I mean the muck. And when I say muck, I mean what you're afraid to name. And when I say name, I'm calling the haunt of hands and mouths and triggers and ropes that killed our black leaders and assaulted our black mothers and lynched our black sons and refused to publish our black literature and denied the presses that gambled on this black thought any recognition for its greatness. And when I read, I look for reflections that remind me how beautiful this black struggle can be. And I know I ain't got the right to be tired, so I know you ain't got a right to my feelings or my time or my poems or my friends unless I give you entrance. And sometimes you got to take back your parts. And I'm learning to be careful with my things. And I'm learning what breaks in me may not come back the same. And same don't mean it's worse, but different. And I want to be the one to remodel my different upon my choosing. And not because some inconsiderate folks want to break my shit simply because they already so broken. Because I don't walk in nobody's house preparing to crash their china and put my size 10s on their coffee table asking for the remote. And I need that type of care when someone walks into my life. I'm convinced folk rather crack open your skull to see why you shine so bright. It's like they ain't never seen a beautiful black sky before. So that conversation ended pretty quickly. It always does. I had this really amazing opportunity to present at the TEDx Salon. It's a free salon, one of the longest running salons of the TEDx family, and it happens for free in New York City every Friday. So our discussion was how art is activism, and some programs that I'm working with and how this program helped, and how Black People Speak Out is responding to the injustices that are continuously happening. So I'm going to close with these 2 poems. Is that okay? Got time for 2?
Yeah.
Okay. You said 7 minutes, and I'm like,
Oh, you know.
I do slam, so everything is 3. 3 minutes. I'm very cognizant. Even when it's not a slam, I'm like,
15 to,
okay. So then I won't rush. I will do 2 though. So these poems I wrote in response to those atrocities. And it was really hard for me to begin the conversation on page because it feels like it's a never-ending conversation, right, in our lives. So the name of this poem is How to Write a Poem About Ferguson. Or the name of this poem is How a Black Man Dies and No One Makes a Sound. Or the name of this poem is Everywhere is Ferguson. Or the name of this poem is When the Moon Rises Sounds Like Gunshots. Or the name of this poem is How to Teach Your Babies to Walk and Not Run, Ever. Or How to Teach Your Babies to Carry a Wallet the Size of Their Smile. Or the name of this poem is How to Not Smile and Make Yourself a Target. Or the name of this poem is How to Write a Poem the Same Size of Emmett Till's Lungs. Or the name of this poem is How to Write a Poem About America's Thirst. Or the name of this poem is Black Blood Will Keep You Thirsty. Or the name of this poem is I'm Still Thirsty, an American Horror Story. Or the name of this poem is How to Write an Escape Route from a Tornado. Or the name of this poem is How to Write an Escape Route when the tornado's name is Stop and Frisk. Or the name of this poem is How to Walk the Streets Without Fearing Someone Will Cut Your Neck Open. Or How to Walk into the Boardroom Without Fearing Someone Will Cut Your Legacy Open. Or How to Walk Without Asking for It. Or How to Walk Without Asking for It. Or How to Determine What Asking for It Looks Like. Or How Asking for It Feels Like a Church Bombing. Or the name of this poem is How to Not Intimidate Nobody in 3 Small Steps. Or the name of this poem is How to Use Your Science Books as Teflon and How That Still Might Not Work. Or the name of this poem is How to Write About the One Time You Held a Gun. Or the name of this poem is How to Write About the One Time You Had a Gun Pointed to Your Face. Or the name of this poem is How to Write About the One Time You Had a Gun Pointed to Your Face. Or the name of this poem is How to Write About the One Time You Had a Gun Pointed to Your Face. Or the name of this poem is How to Write a Poem from the Perspective of a Cop's Gun, or a cop's taser, or a cop's boot, or a cop's baton. Or the name of this poem is How to Write a Poem Without Repeating Yourself. Or the name of this poem is It Ain't Got No Name. The name of this poem is a series of numbers. The numbers sing fear and warn me sweetly. You should be afraid to have a son. So last night's reading was really amazing. It was produced by a member of our cohort, Soretta Morgan, and
Sheila.
I was spelling her name in my head because it's a different spelling.
Right.
It freaked me out this morning. I was like, oh, amazing. Sheila, Miss Sheila Patterson. And it was really amazing to hear Abdul Kamal's mother, a mother from a young man who was slain by the cops, speak about how she never thought about joining the protest. She just thought, good job, good for them. And then when it happened, she's like, I was supposed to be doing this all along. And now, despite her son's murder, she has to stand up for everyone else's sons. And it was just really powerful to hear that story. This is for the mothers of these sons. And I was able to add her name. Because you were born a crumbling mountain. Because you're a song in God's throat. Call it Motown. Call it black woman. Call it what cannot be killed. Because all babies gonna call you mama, mammy, nanny. Because you find no harm in that. Because the black on your skin sings a lemon bath siren. Because no one asks you if it hurts to be this black. Because no one asks you if it hurts to be this kind of woman. Because woman in black means silent, mean invisible. Because you gonna fight for your babies. Because you gonna fight for their babies too. Because you know they gonna kill your babies anyway. Because Diallo, McSpadden, Fulton, Bell, Till, Abdul. Because a black mother know ain't no song for that empty in her belly. Because a black mother know ain't no ocean big enough to carry away the corpses. Because you moan. Because you howl. Because you howl. Because you howl. Because you know the belly make a ravenous song that got the sound to call us all back home. Because you home. Because you home. Home you be because you sleep with your hands thrashing at the legion of the lost. A lemon wedge beneath the bed frame to keep away the orchestra of ghosts. Because Diallo, because McSpadden, because Fulton, because Bell, because Abdul, because home be a thrashing black mother's heart. Because you be a sleepless ocean. And even then, the moon shut its mouth tight to listen. Thank you. I love Snap. I don't feel bad, but I do want to leave you with something. Of this manuscript that I just finished working on, and I kind of hate it. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's sad. You work all your life to finish a manuscript, and then you finish it, and you're like, I kind of hate you. I don't really want to see you anymore. I feel like I'm editing my breath at this point. You know what I'm saying? Why I shouldn't breathe that deep when I read that part of the poem. I'm a mess. Okay, so I'll just read a couple of her shorts. The blackest night is a black girl, swollen smirk, she swells, sideways sauntering skillfully since she skips sunsets. The blackest night is a black girl that think her hair too good, and her waist too small, and her jeans too fly, and her mama ain't nothing like her, and the bitches on the corner ain't nothing like her, and can't nobody sweat her style but Jesus. Thank you.